If no businesses will reject an opportunity to increase profits, using free trade agreement may help your businesses to become more competitive in overseas markets. You could benefit from greater access to markets with more opportunities and protections, and greater certainty in your trading as well as tariff savings. Allow me to take a quote from a company that leverage free trade agreements. Singa Plastics, they are a company that manufactures and supplies pails and businesses. Their exports grew close to 30% when they exported using free trade agreement and ensured their pricing was competitive from tariff savings. This gives them a competitive advantage that they can also compete with the local market. Wow, look at the map. Did you know Singapore has a wide network of free trade agreements with more than 25 free trade agreements and more than 30 trading partners, providing our businesses with market access to various parts of the world. Do you remember from the start of my presentation, I actually asked a question that, are you aware how many free trade agreements are there between Singapore and Malaysia? Well, look at the slides. There are quite a number of free trade agreements, and actually the oldest free trade agreement between both countries are the ASEAN Free Trade Zone area. And you can look at the list, you will see that we do have agreements like the ASEAN, Australia, New Zealand, ASEAN, China, ASEAN, India, Japan, and so on. And you can also see that there is this comprehensive and progressive agreement for Trans-Pac Partnership, what we normally call the CPTPP. And for CPTPP, I just like to highlight that Malaysia has yet to ratify this agreement. And the new mega agreement that was being signed was the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, which what we call the RCEP. And hence, businesses can look forward to these two new agreements. Okay, so I just want to share what exactly are free trade agreement, and the biggest question, how can it benefit your business and who you can go to for help? So what is FTA, free trade agreement? The common and the boring definition I would say is that free trade agreement is a legally binding agreement between two or more countries that help to reduce, eliminate the barrier to trade, and facilitate the cross-border movements between goods and services. But in short, it can help you to save on tariff. It actually allows you to access overseas market more easily and actually allowing all the businesses to trade with greater certainty. So how can our free trade agreement help you? Free trade agreement generally have three major areas: trade in goods, trade in services, and also the investment chapters. And actually in the recent years, mega free trade agreement have been negotiated to include new chapters such as the sustainability or environment chapter. So for those exporting goods, you would be interested in the trade in goods chapter, as it helps to move your goods to more markets at a faster rate while keeping your price competitive, as your importers may benefit from tariff saving. How about the trade in services and investment chapter? Both chapters offer opportunities for businesses to expand into new market. It actually also safeguards the market access as well as protect the business's interests. Maybe I shall give you an example because it might be too complicated. Okay, taking this as an example, a company wishes to export sweet biscuits that contains cocoa with a HS code, which is a harmonized code 1905.3120 to Malaysia using the ASEAN Trade in Goods Agreement, what we call the ATIGA. So this batch of goods actually has an export value of 500,000, but the custom duties is at 6%, whereby we actually call this the MFN rate. So MFN refers to the most favored nation, meaning to say any countries who is a member of the WTO World Trade Organization will have to pay a 6% unless there is a FTA in place. So with the FTA in place, which is ATICA, the importer now needs to pay a custom duties of, sorry to say, if it is a 6% custom duties, your importers will have to pay a 30,000. But if there's a FTA in place, the preferential custom duties can be reduced. Either it reduce or even can drop to zero. Meaning to say that the custom duties that your importer will be paying will be reduced or zero. So instead of your importer paying 30,000, now he can actually save this 30,000. So in this, the price competitiveness of his goods into Malaysia will also increase. For the trade in services, I'll just take one FTA for example, the China-Singapore Free Trade Agreement. Singapore law firms that has established their representative office in Shanghai Free Trade Zone can enjoy preferential treatment in a predicting operating environment, as they will be permitted to form a commercial association with Chinese law firm in the Shanghai Free Trade Zone, and also offer other legal services to clients in China regardless of location. So how about the investment chapter? The investment chapter in the Free Trade Agreement will help to provide conducive investment environment. Sometimes it provides preferential treatment. It also provides legal recourse, and the companies will have more predictable operating environments. Okay, so in short, the FTA team SBF is actually here to help to educate the Singapore businesses. We want to equip the businesses or the companies with the knowledge and the tools to seize the opportunity presented in the international trade. We also try to gather feedbacks on the businesses so that the businesses can also better leverage the free trade agreement to internationalize. So at SBF, we actually regularly organize free trade agreement seminars and training. It could be market specific or it could be FTA specific. We also provide advisory services and work with the government bodies to facilitate industry consultation. Please sign up for our mailing list for the latest event, or be invited to our annual FTA Day flagship event. Like I mentioned earlier on, we offer one-to-one advisory service. So if you have any FTA related query, please feel free to email us. Allow me to also share with you for our upcoming events for this year. You can scan the QR code on the top to join our mailing list. We have a full range of events over here, or keep a lookout at our SBF events website. Lastly, please feel free to email us at fta@sbf.org.sg to find out more about free trade agreement. I certainly hope to hear from you soon. Have a great day. That's all for me today. I shall now pass the floor back to Tina.